But I was noticing what didn't happen. I wasn't destroyed. I wasn't abandoned. So my body was learning I can depend on God and still be okay, even if things don't go the way that I expect. Do you ever find yourself praying but holding back? You ask God for help, but you don't fully surrender the outcome to Him because part of you is still bracing for disappointment. You believe that He's faithful, you know the scriptures and all the right things, but inside, you still feel like you need to protect yourself. Today we're going to talk about why that happens and how to start trusting God again, even when it hurts. So grab your journal and pen. Let's get into it.
Before we dive in today, I want you to know something. You don't have to heal alone. I have a free community called Narcissism Unmasked, and it's for women just like you who are rebuilding their confidence and self-worth after narcissistic abuse. We have real conversations, honest support, and every week I host live healing conversations for the heart where you can connect with other women who truly get it. If you're tired of feeling alone in this and you want a judgment-free place to heal, come join us at bit.ly/narcissism unmasked. Do you want to heal from narcissistic abuse, but you struggle with self-doubt and second-guessing everything? If so, you're in the right place. I'm Takia, mom, coach, and your survivor friend. Here we mix faith, real talk, and practical tools to restore confidence and self-worth. So if you're ready to rebuild your confidence and finally feel at peace, take a deep breath. Exhale now. Let's heal for real.
About 3 years ago, I was extremely unsettled and I did not know why. Then God revealed something to me about an event that was supposed to take place at my daughter's school. Immediately, I knew she was not supposed to be there, but the problem was my hands were tied. There was ongoing court stuff, legal restrictions, and I just couldn't make a decision and move on. So, very desperately, I went into prayer. I pleaded, I asked God to protect my daughter, I asked Him to block the event somehow so she wouldn't have to attend. And I kid you not, about 2 hours after I said that prayer, I got a call. There was an emergency at the school, and I rushed there only to find out that they had closed the school for the rest of the week because of COVID. I just remember thinking, oh my goodness, God, you shut it down. That was a quick answer to prayer. I was excited. My confidence was boosted. So when they tried to put on the event again, I went back into prayer and it was blocked again. But the third time was where the stretching came. This time, in praying, God gave me an instruction. And I was kind of scared to obey. He said to me, go collect her from school for 1 o'clock. Now listen, I knew God was powerful. Clearly, I had seen Him move a week prior. But at this point, there was so much legal interference, a lot of manipulative attempts, and quite frankly, many disappointing outcomes. I had been prevented from collecting my daughter early, and now God was asking me to do something audacious, and that felt a little bit scary. I kept praying, trying to make sure that it was Him, but the fear was still there. I mean, I believe that He could cover me and He would protect me, but everything in me was bracing for Him to disappoint me. I was imagining worst case scenarios, and it wasn't because I didn't doubt His power. But I had learned that totally depending on someone, even God, was dangerous. What if I obeyed Him and got her yet again? I felt guilty for doubting, but I realized that the doubt wasn't about His character. It was about whether I was safe enough to depend on Him. And I mean really depend on Him. Now, trust after betrayal does not rebuild in your mind first. It has to rebuild in your nervous system. When you experience abuse, there's this lie that gets planted subconsciously, and that is trust equals danger. So I can never trust fully. And many Christian women don't walk around saying, oh, I don't trust God. It sounds more like, okay, I'm going to pray. I trust you, but I need to stay a little bit prepared just in case. I need to keep my options open. I'm going to pray, but I'm not going to be able to fully release the outcome because it may not be what I want. Or I believe that God is faithful, but I still need to be in control just a little bit. And this isn't theological doubt or failure in any way. It is just your nervous system kicking in and doing what it has learned to keep you alive. When you've experienced narcissistic abuse, vulnerability led to manipulation, dependence led to control, and letting your guard down led to pain. So naturally, your system adapted. It learned, don't fully rely on anybody, not even God, because that's when you get hurt. And just because the relationship is now with God, it does not automatically turn off. So this shows up when you pray, but you are having plans for just in case God does not come through. You're asking him for help, but you kind of hold back your deepest fears. Or you say, I trust you, God, but internally you are bracing for disappointment. And that is not a failure of your faith. It is a trauma response. And on this healing journey, shaming yourself for being cautious gets nowhere. The healing begins by understanding why your system learned caution in the first place. So here's the question. If trust has been broken through repeated experiences of betrayal, could it be rebuilt through repeated experiences of faithfulness? After any type of betrayal or trauma, your system is not asking, is God faithful in theory? I think we know that. It is asking, if I lean on him, and I mean wholeheartedly lean on him, will I be okay? Will I be covered? And that question doesn't get answered through scripture verses alone. It gets answered and anchored through experience. Lamentations 3:22-23 says, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. And I mean, we all know the song, great is thy faithfulness, right? And it sounds good. It's comforting. But honestly, for me, it was distant. I didn't understand that God wasn't asking me to trust him all at once. He was inviting me to trust him today. No, this is not about ignoring the future, but not forcing my nervous system to carry the whole future either. Trust is not rebuilt through one massive act of surrender. It's rebuilt through small moments where you notice, hey, I didn't fall apart the way that I thought I would have. Or I was protected when I thought I wouldn't be. Or maybe you had strength for the next step, even without clarity for the whole road ahead. You experienced peace, even when circumstances did not change. It comes through moments where provision came in ways that you really could never explain or even plan. And none of these things are coincidences. They're God meeting you where trust feels hardest and showing you one moment at a time that he's dependable and it is safe to really lean on him. That lived evidence matters more than any dramatic breakthroughs. Because every time God meets you in a real way, your nervous system is learning something new. I can't depend on him and it doesn't cost me my safety. And that's how emotional trust starts to come back. But what does this look like when fear is still present? I want to make this very practical, not spiritualized in any way. Because the truth is, rebuilding trust does not look like waking up, feeling fearless. I can take over the world now. It looks like choosing not to disappear when the fear shows up. And I want to show you how that played out for me in the story that I told you about earlier, so that you can kind of see it in real time and show you how you can practice the same thing. Number one, I let the fear exist without letting it drive and decide. When God gave me the instruction to collect my daughter from school early for 1 o'clock, such a strange time, huh? 1 o'clock, but it was specific like that, right? My body immediately reacted. I felt sick in my stomach. My heart was racing. My chest felt tight. My mind went straight to the worst case scenarios. I was thinking about the legal battle, all the different interferences, the past disappointments. But I didn't shame myself for it. I didn't say, oh, you shouldn't feel this way. It was more like, okay, I'm feeling fearful, but I can still take next right step. Trust for me in that moment was not the absence of fear. It was me choosing not to let fear run the entire moment or drive my decision. So my one feeble step of trusting God looked like me getting ready, going to this school early with my heart racing, praying while my heart was about to jump out of my chest and I was shaking. I was choosing to move forward without knowing how anything would turn out. Number two, I anchored myself in what God had already done. As fear was rising, I chose to do something very intentional. I reminded myself about what had already happened. I remember how God answered me within 2 hours on the first time praying against this event, how he had shut the school down for the rest of that week. I remembered how on the second attempt for the activity to occur, it was blocked and it was done in a way that I had no part of. I could not have even thought about it. I remembered how he had protected me and my daughter more than once. And those moments really mattered because they were not nice memories. They were evidence. So when fear was screaming, this could go badly. No, the courts are involved. These people are powerful. I grounded myself in the truth that my nervous system could understand. Takia, God has intervened before. Yeah, you may be stepping into a situation where you don't know the outcome, but trust his pattern. He has always shown up for you. And this is where trust starts to solidify, right? It wasn't about me imagining a better future, but I was noticing what didn't happen. I wasn't destroyed. I wasn't abandoned. So my body was learning I can depend on God and still be okay, even if things don't go the way that I expect. Number 3, I trusted God with that moment. I didn't look at the entire outcome. And that was a big shift for me. Lord, can I trust you with this step, what you're asking me to do in this moment today? I'm not looking at the court case, the future, or any possible consequence. Just this instruction that you've given me. Just this moment. And when I got to the school, before I even stepped through the gate, someone had already gone to bring my daughter to me. No resistance, no issues, no confrontation. She was released just like that. And when I checked the time, it was exactly 1 o'clock. The event happened after she left. She was safe. I was safe. And it was an anchoring of the truth that I followed God and I was not harmed. And that's how trust rebuilds, not by forcing belief, but by letting real moments teach your body that depending on God is safe. So what would this look like for you? Rebuilding trust doesn't mean that you suddenly feel confident. It means that you let fear exist without letting it rule you. Remind yourself where God has already shown up for you and trust him with one step today. You don't need to know the entire future, the story, and the outcome. Trust grows one moment, one step, and one lived experience at a time. So let's bring this all together. You don't stop doubting by forcing yourself to believe harder. You rebuild trust by letting yourself experience God's faithfulness. If you've been betrayed, your hesitation to trust doesn't mean that you lack faith. It simply means that your body learned to protect you and it's still reacting from that place. And God isn't offended by that. He's patient enough to rebuild trust the way it was broken, through experience. Not all at once, not perfectly, but consistently. His mercies are new every morning, which means that today is another opportunity, not to force trust, but to notice where he shows up. So don't rush yourself and don't shame your fears. Just stay present. Take the next step and document the moments where God meets you. Trust me, one day you are going to look back and realize trust didn't suddenly return. It quietly grew, and God was faithful all the way.
If today's episode hit home for you, I would love to see you inside Narcissism Unmasked. It's my free community where women healing from narcissistic abuse come together to talk honestly, rebuild their confidence, and support each other through the hard stuff. Remember those weekly life healing conversations I mentioned? That's where real connection and breakthrough happens. You're not just listening to a podcast, you're a part of something real. Join us at bit.ly/Narcissism Unmasked. And if you want to stay connected between episodes, become an insider. You'll get weekly emails with new podcast drops, healing tips, and first access to anything special I'm working on. Sign up today at bit.ly/Confidence Insiders.
Hey friends! I hope today's episode taught you something or gave you a boost. If it did, would you take a couple seconds and share it with someone who's ready to heal from narcissistic abuse? And while you're at it, would you please leave me a quick review on Apple Podcasts? It really thrills me to know that other women are being helped. Now go ahead, stretch, or grab that snack. I'll see you in our next episode.